Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right. Can everyone hear me all right? Can everyone hear the music all right? Good morning for me in Japan. It is 6 a.m. and good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. in America, maybe 4 p.m. depending on what time zone you're in. Hi. Yes. Good morning. My name is Josh. I am a teacher, an English teacher living in Japan who really desperately needs a haircut. And today I'm going to be continuing writing Viable, which is a copyleft manga with freedom in mind. Yeah. So today we're going to be, let's see, let me go to today we're going to be listening to some Japanese city pop, copyright free music, royalty free music. This specific video, it's in Korean, but you know, I think it's city pop enough for it to be Japanesey, which is okay with me. All right, let's first talk about what Viable is. For those who do not know, Viable is this one's a website, but I'm going to quickly make it public for everybody to see. All right. Making it public. Oh, it's already public. I forgot to turn that on. All right, cool. So it's already public. So in order to look at this website, which will be talking about Viable, we are going to go to this description and we are going to click on www.viablemanga.com right here. Copyleft Joshua Stevenson, Viable 2023 source, viablemanga.com. So if you click on that, then you'll be able to go to the website. And this is the website, although this is the website right here. And yeah, so on this website, you can see what Copyleft is. You can see the characters, the blog, and different things. Currently, this is a temporary website full of temporary drawings that, for number one, I want to redraw Vassa. I think he's not very well drawn here. I think he should not only be a bigger guy, but, you know, I kind of want to redesign him. But yes, let's talk about the story of Viable, my manga, my copyleft manga. Copyleft basically means that you have the free right to copy, distribute, and do whatever you want with my manga, so long as you credit me and make your derivatives copyleft as well. The story is about this guy named Vassa. He is a USSR detective, and a good one too. And due to a disastrous mistake in his career that involved the death of a young civilian, his public image was tarnished in his home country, which is the Soviet Union. He is, to keep him busy while the storm blows over, his superior transferred him to work side by side with Soviet Russia's closest ally, Japan. A foreigner in a strange new land, Vassa begrudgingly works with the local policemen to both solve crime and intercept any coup attempts against the current ruling party, the Nihon Shokai To, also known as the Japanese Socialist Party. Let's look at Lucy. Lucy, this little cutie, this spunky 6-year-old, suddenly appeared one day while Vassa was working on a case. In fact, we're actually writing the case that he is the case that he first sees Lucy on. We're going to be doing that today. He quickly finds out that Vassa, he's the only one who is capable of seeing her. No one else can see her and her antics. She uses her imagination, which is very nice. Going to add some different perspective on the different cases. Is she a ghost? a manifestation of his trauma? We don't know. Either way, though, she is able to help him visualize things that would otherwise be impossible. After all, she is only in his head. Alright, so, what is the background of Viable? Well, the main background is that this guy, Inejiro Asanuma, who was a socialist, Japan, he was a, I can't word right now. He was a Japan Socialist Party leader. And as a result of his death, due to Otoya Yamaguchi, the Socialist Party in Japan actually died out. It is very, it is a very interesting study to see why a 17-year-old, extremely right-wing ultra-nationalist killing this politician caused the end of an entire party that was actually gaining traction at the time. A lot of the people there in Japan at the time, they were, they're starting to warm up to socialism and like China and the USSR, which is Soviet Russia. But this guy, Asanuma, he was the glue that was holding the party together. The more extreme left wing and the more moderate left wing, he was the glue that was holding them together. And after he died, the party crumbled. In my story, Viable, this never happened. So Japan actually does become a socialist or communist country. I kind of lean more towards the communism side because he was actually a very big fan of Mao, of the Chinese Communist Party. So, all that being said, as a result of his death, the LDP gained control of Japan. It is the current ruling party of Japan, the Liberal Democratic Party. And, yep, it's an interesting take. Are all lives, it's an interesting thing about how a single life can change the course of history, I think. So, are all lives viable? Should we do our best to protect all lives? Are some killings justified? I don't think so. I don't think killing is ever justified. Well, I mean, except for like self-defense and certain things, and war. Though I don't think all wars are justified. But I don't think this killing specifically was justified, even if it would have prevented Japan from becoming communist. But my manga will be exploring these things, and yeah, is Lucy, even though she is only in Vassa's head, is her life justified? Is she worthy of protecting? And is Vassa's life viable, right? Vassa, Lucy. So this is going to be this story is going to be exploring human life and whether it's important to preserve, which is fun. That's kind of a big theme of Viable, and it's not going to be overly explicit, but it's going to be there. So, all right, copyright. Let's look at the copyright information real quick. This is a copyleft symbol. It is an inverted copyright sign, and it basically means that this is a free work, and you can freely copy, distribute, and modify it under the terms of the free art license. And the free art license basically says all you got to do is credit me with this this here. If you notice in the description of my YouTube video right here, I put the same thing. And because YouTube's font doesn't have the copyleft symbol, I'll use this instead. But basically, yes, all you have to do is credit me, Joshua Stevenson. You got to put the title, Viable 2023, of course, viablemanga.com, and then just say this is a free work. You can do whatever you want with the free license and include the license. Whenever you make a I am half awake. Whenever you make a derivative of my work, which means anything based off the work, whether it be a video, a fan dub, a comic, a translation, literally anything, you also need to include your copyleft information. So here's an example of that. You would write copyleft Joshua Stevenson, then copyleft John Smith. I just chose name. And then I said this is a fan art of Lucy eating an apple as an example. So copyleft John Smith, Lucy eating an apple, 2023, though soon we'll have to change that to 2024. And then you have to include the image source. That source can be your website, it can be your Patreon, so long as it includes a copy, so long as whether or not it's behind a paywall, it includes a copy of your image, right? So that is Copyleft. You can learn more about it with this Q&A that is in my copyright information. As for now, though, I'm going to get into writing. We are going to be writing Bible. So last time we're going to be writing the first chapter. If you look at read, the first chapter, even though it's technically up, it is not. It's nothing. Yeah. So I'm going to go through scrolling. You have the temporary cover that I made with an outdated Vassa character design that I want to change, but I love Lucy's design. And then it just says page 1. So I haven't actually drawn it yet. It has no rough drafts or anything. But that is what we're working on today. We're going to be working on the first chapter of Viable. Whenever I'm finished with the first chapter of Viable, I'm going to start this fundraiser for Viable Chapter 2. And, with the $8,000 goal, I think that would help me out a lot and it would be 25 pages long. The first chapter is going to be 75 pages long. And yep, that's basically the rundown. All right, so I've been streaming for about 12 minutes now, and I guess we can get started. All right, so Viable Chapter 1. This is what we've gotten so far. I have characters. I have Vassa, Lucy, and Hana. You already heard about Vassa and Lucy on the website, but Hana is a police officer. She's the poster child of the Japan Socialist Party's inclusion initiative. Hana is a Japanese policewoman who has been assigned to Vassa's force. She struggles with the thought that she may have been assigned not through her own merit, but instead as a symbol of the regime. All right, if you're watching right now, I want you to say, "Heyo, how you doing? Good to see you." But yes, I want to include some internal struggles, and there's going to be a lot of character development between not only Vassa but also Hana as well. Lucy, however, she's going to be more of a static character. She's just a little girl. So, for our synopsis, on the first week we decided a synopsis. I wrote it out after going in depth on the website and describing what Viable is all about. We have Vassa's introduction, Vassa meeting Hana and the other policemen and talking about the case. There is a Japan Socialist Party politician's son is kidnapped by rebel forces and has a degenerative disease, which means he doesn't have much time to survive. We said that one of the rebels is a doctor, so we may have changed this. And seeing this child slowly die, he decided to leak the information about where they're storing him to the police. So, I think that is not the route we took whenever we actually started writing. And so today we're going to be writing an interrogation scene. But yeah, they go on a raid against the rebel forces in a house used for storage that turns out to be empty. Due to the urgency of the situation, the policemen split up into different rooms to try to find the boy, and Vassa discovers Lucy. Lucy goes, bang, and pretends to shoot him with her finger. Vassa quickly puts away his gun and pretends to be shot. Ah, you got me, you little girl, ah! During the experience, Vassa quickly realizes that he's the only one who can see Lucy, and in this one I see a 2-page spread of Lucy just showing her his powers and showing him that she's using her imagination to conjure stuff only in his head. No one else can see it, and no one else can see her. And that is what it says right here. Lucy shows him her imagination and creativity and conjures up many different creative apparitions to show her powers to Vassa. Vassa doesn't know if Lucy is his own mind coping with a previous trauma or a ghost of a girl that's following him. While thinking this, Lucy reads his mind. Lucy starts to ask Vassa a lot of questions during their first meeting, and in answering them in a story-like, metaphorical way so that she can understand, he reveals bits and pieces of his tragic past. After the interaction with Lucy, the policemen check up on Vassa, and he says he thought he saw something. Vassa discovers, and this is something that we came up with, a black ball with numbers and the letter R on it. He tries to think of what it could be, and Lucy plays around with the apparition versions of the clue, juggling it, pretending it's a sword, and eventually pretending it's a gear shift in a car. And she drives around and hits a wall, which causes Vassa to realize that it is indeed a gear shift. One of the policemen realizes the gear shift is of a Mitsubishi Korea. So Hana opens up to Vassa as they are traveling to a warehouse and discusses her internal struggle with being a poster child for the regime and whether or not she belongs on the force. Vassa responds by giving her his opinion of women from a Russian perspective, and this inspires her to act in a way that doesn't deny her femininity, but also aspires to help the team. Vassa and the Japanese detectives eventually find out the whereabouts of the child on Mitsubishi car factory, and the child is dead. And this is the child as in the politician's son. Vassa, after the capture of the rebels, executes them in a bout of seething rage to the shock of Hana and the other policemen, ending the chapter. So we're going to end the chapter with a straight-on execution. All right, I'm going to go grab some tea. So, if you are here, say hi. How you doing? We're going to be beginning writing very soon, page by page. So far, we've written that the first page is going to have a rendered image of the 1961 Pulitzer photo of the assassination of Inejiro Asanuma, this photo right here. That's going to be a drawing of that, and the narration is going to include a philosophical take on how a single life can affect the course of history. Page 2 and 3 is a spread of the going to be a spread, and by spread I mean it's like a in manga usually they have a spread that is similar to like a poster, and in the poster they typically, or in the poster spread thing, they typically show off the characters and the coming up arc or something that is shown in the chapter. And so mine's going to look like kind of a Soviet Union propaganda poster, and it's going to show Lucy, it's going to show Hana, it's going to show Vassa, of course, and it's going to show the politician's son, and you know, it's going to be a pretty cool poster that is going to look more like, it's going to be in color too, and it's going to show more of the it's going to show what the story, it's going to give you a glimpse of what the story is going to be. And so that's going to be page 2 and 3. Page 4, a Japanese politician who we named Tatsuya Iwao. This is a fictional character, and there may be a politician named that, but I don't know who that actually is. But anyway, we show the Japanese politician first, and this is the first change that we made from the original synopsis. So I'm out of milk tea, dang. In the original synopsis, we wrote that Vassa just meets Hana, at the beginning of the manga, and we changed that to be to where they're already beginning the case together. So we see it from the politician's perspective, and so that's the first thing I changed. A Japanese politician, Tatsuya Iwao, is shown behind his desk, incredibly worried and distraught. On his desk is shown a ransom note. Step down, it says. If you would like your son back. So, an assistant walks in, and Mr. Iwao asks, "What did the doctors say?" The assistant says he doesn't have much time. Without proper attention, his condition could turn for the worse. Mr. Iwao reacts with dread. The assistant continues, "The detectives are here, sir." Mr. Iwao looks up. That's page 5. Page 6, you see Vassa. You see like a full body shot of Vassa. He enters the room with other Japanese detectives. Mr. Iwao stands up and welcomes them, specifically complimenting Hana before asking who's the large white man that is also in the room. Today's tea that we're going to be drinking is black tea, oishi, with no milk. It's not milk tea, and I'm sad. I like milk tea. But anyway, the reason why he compliments Hana is because she is the poster child of the Japanese police force. Like, she's literally on socialist propaganda posters. So he's going to be complimenting her, saying, "Oh, what a wonderful job you guys are doing with you on the case. I know it'll be fine. Women are just as strong as men and just as smart. And I think you'll do a great job." And he says stuff like that. And not a lot of people know this, but communism is actually communism actually had a lot of, on the surface level at least, they were very supportive of women's rights and feminism. And if you look at modern day feminism, they do take a lot of pages from the socialist or communist left-wing handbook. A lot of Marxism has seeped into more modern feminist ideals, which, I'm not going to judge one way or another, but a lot of feminism and a lot of the things that started feminism started with left-wing Marxism. So it makes sense that a socialist Japan will also embrace feminism, specifically in a way that is similar to what's it called? Whenever people are led into college, affirmative action, in a similar way to affirmative action. But I've called it the inclusion initiative. So Hana is basically pushed into being a police officer. She's a competent one, of course. They wouldn't just let anybody be the poster child of the Japanese police force. Perhaps her dad was a policeman himself, perhaps, and she went through school just like everybody else, and she's relatively competent, which actually checks out if you look at people who, men versus women, the ones who excel in specific occupations that are typically reserved for men, tend to be the ones who are women. They tend to be above average in regards to their job occupations. But, and I'm getting into sociology now, but they're better than most average men at the job, but they're not better than the best men at the job. And so it's kind of a bell curve, which is a very interesting phenomenon. But that being said, I'm going to treat Hana as a competent policewoman in this story. So, Mr. Iwao stands up and welcomes them, specifically complimenting Hana before asking who the large white man is. Hana introduces Vassa, saying that he's a detective that specializes in the prevention of a rebellious uprising, and that he recently came from the USSR and has been put in charge. I cannot read today. I am very tired this morning. but he has been put in charge of the case due to the political nature of it. Mr. Iwao seems afraid at first due to Vassa's large stature, which is something that isn't very apparent in the art of him that I made. So I really do want to change this up. I don't want him to be a skinny guy. I want him to be more of a bulkier fella, maybe like a gentle giant looking guy. So I'm going to change the character design of Vassa. But yes, Mr. Iwao at first seems pretty shaken, afraid, due to Vassa's large stature. But after shaking hands with Vassa and seeing his serious yet gentle face, he is relieved and begins briefing the team. I decided to have him shake hands here because that's not only an American thing, it's also a common thing in Russia to have a firm handshake. So, please save my son, he proclaims. He scurries back over to his desk and grabs the ransom note, quickly handing it to Hana, while she is translating the note to Vassa. Maybe I should just have him already have it in his hands and hand it to him and hand it to her. That might be a thing I could change in the story, but while she is translating the note to Vassa, Mr. Iwao says he has a degenerative disease that requires constant surveillance, so he could die without his medication. She asks Mr. Iwao, did your son get kidnapped when he was always being watched? How did your son get kidnapped when he is always being watched? Very valid question. Last time I thought I wrote myself into a corner because I had to describe how I had to figure out how this son was kidnapped, right? And so that was kind of hard to figure out, but we managed it. We managed to do it, and it ended up being pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and let my friends know that I'm streaming. That way we can have more people join in the conversation. Yeah. Okay, if you want to come out and hang out for a bit, in the chat, I'm currently streaming. Here. Okay, I need to get my here. Yeah. Copy. And paste. And I'll do the same with my friend Caleb. These guys are in America, so they should be able to come up. So, hey Caleb, if you are free, and I think he probably is at work, but it is Sunday, so he might have just gotten off church. So, that being said, if you are free and would like to hang out in the chat, I'm currently streaming here. Boom. So I got my friend Ryan and my friend Caleb to potentially be popping in the chat, chatting away, hanging out, helping me write this viable manga. Alright, so please save my son, he proclaims. He scurries back over to his desk, grabs the ransom note, quickly handing it to Hana. While she is translating the note to Vassa, Mr. Iwao says he has a degenerative heart disease. He has a degenerative disease that requires constant surveillance, so he could die without his medication. When Hana asks Mr. Iwao, how did your son get kidnapped when he's always being watched? And he says, we had a fight. My son and I don't see eye to eye on the important issues, and before I went on stage for a debate, I told my assistant to take him away. And all eyes turned towards the assistant. I should probably describe a drawing. I don't know, that's pretty short for a single page, huh? I should probably add a little bit more other than just dialogue. So I should describe before all eyes turn. So that would be at the bottom of the page. A depiction of Mr. Iwao and his son having a verbal argument before the debate. Or maybe I can, well, I do want to include that. Maybe I can also show a bit more of whatever's going on here in page 8 as well. But anyway, the assistant nervously begins explaining her side of the story. Soon after Mr. Iwao went on stage for the debate, Hiyoshi, which is the name of the kid, told me to take him home since he didn't care to see the debate. After we got him into the car, she turns on the television in the room showing surveillance footage. It shows her leaning into the car before the car drives away, while she runs after it. The vehicle was stolen, honestly. Her chauffeur was found unconscious on the toilet. The assistant explains. Vassa speaks to Hana, and she relays the message. How did the kidnappers know that Hiyoshi would be in the car at that specific time? Mr. Iwao and the assistant look at each other, unsure of how to answer the question. We're not sure ourselves. Hana turns to Vassa, and they start speaking in Russian. What are your thoughts? Hana asks. Vassa responds, I think there was someone who gave a tip to the kidnappers, but the only people who could have known where Hiyoshi would be at the time were Mr. Iwao, the assistant, and then Hana interrupts. Hiyoshi himself. Right, says Vassa. Ask them if we can investigate his room. So, they investigate his room. They walk inside of his room, and it is relatively empty. There's a bed, a nightstand, a table, and a television with a CRT TV on it. Not a lot of people know what a CRT is, so I'll include that. Next to the table is a small trash bin, and Vassa sees an envelope and a letter inside. He puts on his gloves and lifts them up, and Hana opens up an evidence bag as he places them in there. So he finds a letter and an envelope. Now, why would a disabled young man who never leaves his house have a pen pal? Vassa asks Hana in a moment of realization. Turns to the assistant. Have you seen this letter before? She asks. Yes, the assistant replies. We received it in the mail. It was addressed to Hiyoshi, so I gave it to her. Vassa interrupts in Russian. Ask her about the courier. Can you describe the courier who delivered it to you? I asked. Well, he was an older gentleman with gray hair and probably in his 60s. He had a habit of pushing up his glasses. Vassa bows and takes his leave. Hana follows behind him. Why'd you ask about the courier? She asks. I don't know. Nah, I don't know much Japanese, he replies, but I do know katakana in English. If you look at the words written in katakana, the first letter in English of those words spell out message received. The page will show the deduction being made in a visual way. And page 14. So if English is involved, Hana says, Vassa completes her sentence. Then America is also involved. Then the American rebels are also involved. Those darn Americans. Vebeden. All right. Oh no, I like sentence completing. Might not be natural, but it gives me a detective vibe for sure. Okay. Very cool. Very neat. I think I'm the only one watching my own stream right now. But yeah. Let's see. I guess I'll just get started in writing anyway, even if there's no one watching. Because there is the video on demand, the VOD, where everyone can continue watching with me. So, page 14. I'm gonna say Vassa and Hana. Enter the police vehicle. And then it shows the vehicle, the final shot of this page is the vehicle driving away. From the politician's house. Page 15. Okay, so there is a courier, yeah? Courier. Post office. So Vassa, we're gonna first shot. The first shot will be a. So I'll just say a post office, the nearby post office is seen. Yeah. Kind of they call it a wide shot. A wide, the first wide shot of, it is a wide, how do I describe this? A wide shot is shown of the, of the post office. An establishing shot, that's what it's called. Okay. Do they come from post offices, or do they just drive around? Do mailmen go through the post office usually in Japan? How does that work? I'm pretty sure they get it delivered by hand. But I'm wondering how it works. That's letter writing. Interesting. All right, let's find out if I'm just wondering if, like, in Japan, post offices have just delivery men, or if they just straight up. They do have delivery. They have couriers, yeah. But they would be at the post office, I would assume. I don't know. All right. All right. So an establishing shot is shown of the post office. And Vassa and Hana. I'm going to say of a post office because there are many post offices in Japan. Vassa and Hana walk in, showing their badges. To the front desk. And Hana begins asking questions. Do you have any couriers who are... Do you have any older-aged gentlemen couriers? Is there any... Okay, so... I think it's just having establishing shots for a whole page could work. Showing like the location and different things. Yeah. Now my question is, hey Rihanna, thanks for hopping in. It's good to see you. My question is about that is, should we kill the courier? Like, he tries to run away and they shoot at him or something? That's a good question. Yeah, I've done pretty good so far. Page 14 or page 13, we show that they leave the house. Hana follows him. They asked about a courier because there was a secret message that was written in a letter that was found inside of the boy's house, in the boy's room. And the boy is, well, I say boy, but he's probably like in his teens, the teenager. He cannot have a pen pal because he's a disabled kid, where in a time when having a disability is frowned upon. And so why would he be a young man who never leaves his house have a pen pal? And it only had the single letter. So in a moment of realization, she turns to assistant. Have you seen this letter before? And she says that, yeah, a courier who delivered it was an older fella, probably in his 60s, and he had a habit of pushing up his glasses. Vassa bows and takes his leave. Hana follows behind, and she said, why did you ask about the courier? It's like, I don't know Japanese. I don't know much Japanese, but I do know katakana and English. If you look at the words written in katakana, the first letter in English of these words spell out message received. So that's where we're going to include in our boobity debop. That's what we're going to include in our in our case of how this kid got kidnapped. So, primary reason why he got kidnapped was because he basically, spoiler for the first chapter, but we'll figure this out soon enough. The kid basically didn't like his father and disagree with his father, and so he sent them a tip as to where he would be. He sent the rebels a tip as to where he would be during a live debate, so that way he could get kidnapped. But whether or not that was a good idea, he was a stupid kid because he needs constant medical attention because he has a degenerative disease. And if he's gone for too long, well, that's that. Perhaps the kid wanted to join the rebel forces, but was unable to because they probably just stuck him in a room, and yeah, they probably didn't trust him and just used him to try to get the politician to resign. So anyway, Vassa realizes this, that there was a hidden message inside of the letter saying that another message was received. And so Vassa and Hana entered the police vehicle. If English is involved, Hana starts, and then Vassa completes her sentences. Then the American rebels are also involved. The final shot of this page is the vehicle driving away from the politician's house. So we're away from the politician's house, a change in location. We're now at a post office, and Vassa and Hana walk in, showing their badges to the people at the front desk, and Hana begins asking questions. So I've noticed, though, that my pages descriptions are kind of short. I made pretty short page descriptions. So I kind of want to elaborate a little bit more, so that way whenever I actually start drawing the rough drafts, they would be a little bit more guiding, I guess. Though I may just whenever I start the rough drafts, I may actually just take more creative liberties. So that way, because I've been taking creative liberties with writing it page by page compared to the synopsis. So in a way, that's just rewriting the thing and then rewriting it again, which is okay to do, I think. So in every chapter, I'm going to be at least writing it twice as a result of this. So, and that's just part of the writing process. It's good to have a multiple things. So anyway, Rihanna, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. I am currently wondering if the music is too loud. We are playing some royalty-free city pop. I'm gonna put it on a loop, and it's in Korean for some reason, but I decided to have this be our music for today as I write, and I'm on page 50. Okay, so an establishing shot of the post office. Vassa and Hana walk in, showing their badges to the people at the front desk, and Hana begins asking questions. Okay, so the question here is like, I'm good, music volume's good too. Awesome. So the question here is, what should we do? How do we get the courier to come in and start running away and different things? We need a list. We can have Hana ask the questions, and then Vassa looking around, trying to find even more clues, or thinking. And now, are we going to be doing an interrogation scene here? Okay. I'm not sure how post offices work. I don't know if they arrive at the post office every day. I'm sure they do to pick up the mail, but if he's already out, I think we should just be able to catch him, right? Catch the guy. Writing is hard. Okay, so at the Vassa and Hana walk in, showing their badges to the people at the front desk, and Hana begins asking questions. And the staff let them through to come into the staff let them come into the back of the come into, not a store, but it, you know, like come into the back of it, you know, you can come in, and staff let them come into the back of the, what do they call that, the back of the office? I'll just say that. So this page is probably going to be completely quiet, no dialogue. It's just going to be them arriving, talking, and then entering into the, you know, the back. So that's pretty cool. And now we're gonna have an interrogation scene. Or we can just have them walk out with them having the courier in cuffs. Or running away. Yeah, let's have him run away. Let's have a little action scene go on. Yeah, just have it, no dialogue. So they show off their badges to the people in the front desk. The staff let them into the back of the office. And then it's basically going to show like from a top perspective, and it's going to have the same background, and then the courier is going to be booking it out. The courier then books it. It then shows the courier booking it, running away, coming out of that same door, running. With Vassa and Hana close behind, attempting to escape. With Vassa close behind and tackling him. That's fun. I like having quieter scenes that just show and don't tell, you know? And this would just be a single page of the courier getting tackled. Alright, so page 16. Alright, I give. Yeah, I like the idea of them just walking in. It's kind of a funny shot, but also like they walk into the post office. The staff lets them into the back, and the guy just tries to run away. I hope that's okay. So the next page just shows him on the ground as a close-up of him being tackled by Vassa on the ground. Yeah, it's just like, that's it. Funny and cuts to the chase. I think that'll be fun to draw. Yeah. So the next page, should we just show him tackled on the ground, or should we just go straight to the police station where they interrogate him? Man, this is a vibe. I'm really liking the city pop music, even though it's Korean instead of being Japanese city pop. All right, let's add a poll. I don't know why I'm doing a poll right now. In case I want to do something. Yeah, so the next page shows, I think it'd be funny just to show them him being tackled. So he is, maybe you should just start out in the room. I don't know, the next page. Let's see, so the way this works, first page is on the left, and so odd pages are going to be on the, let's see. Yeah, so odd pages, if I'm going to do a spread, it would be 2 and 3, yeah? It'd be even odd. So the first page is even, the second page is odd, and I'm on page 16, so this is a new page. So when they turn the page, they'll be, shows them in, it shows them in the police station. Okay, so now we have an establishing shot of a police station. And doing a poll kind of helps with the chat delay. Okay. That is true. That is true. All right, I should do a poll whenever I have an idea. So let's just go ahead and try it. Should we jump? Should we immediately jump from the post office to the police station? Or should we take more time? Or should we show the surrender? Okay. Should we immediately jump from the post office to the interrogation, I guess, so that I got safe and space. I think it'd be funny just to show him defeated, honestly. So should we the police station? Or show them? I think it'd also be funny to show the surrender though, and then jump to the police station. Okay, let's do that. Let's say show the surrender, and then jump to the police station. All right, start poll. All right. Should we immediately jump from the post office to the police station, or should we show the surrender? There we go. Check up on that poll. I think we should show the surrender. Yeah. Okay, cool. So show the surrender. I'm cool with that. Let's just have a funny scene of him being tackled. Like, you know, just like a 60-year-old man on his back. Should we have it on the? We should probably have it on the same page, because when we turn the page, it would be going to the police station. We show the surrender of the courier, with him being tackled and screaming, with Vassa behind him, and him screaming, I give. With maybe Vassa puts him in an arm lock. Alright, and then we're going to jump to an establishing shot of the police station. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to end that poll. I don't think we need to show him being taken into the police station. I like how he's just shown and it's just like, and then they just tackle him, and then that's it. That's the scene of his capture. They knew what they wanted. And then the interrogation room, kind of like a wide shot of an interrogation room. So an establishing shot of the police station is shown, then an establishing, then then the door that says interrogation room in Japanese. And then there's a wide shot of a man of the courier sitting in the sitting on one side of a table with Vassa sitting on the other. Okay, with Vassa and Hana. I should do both of them because Vassa doesn't speak Japanese yet. There's a wide shot of the courier sitting on one side of the table with Vassa and Hana sitting on the other. He nervously pushes up his glasses, and both Hana and Vassa give him like a look, like just like, you know. So let's say we see Vassa. We then switch to the courier's perspective, with Hana and Vassa looking at him with contempt, and we switch to the courier's perspective with Hana and Vassa looking at him with contempt. Then we switch to their perspective, seeing a very nervous courier pushing up his glasses. I like how this is kind of like a funny sort of scene. So far it's been pretty serious. Oops, I accidentally pushed the print screen button. So far it's been pretty serious up until this point, and it's just kind of funny how easily he gets captured. And I like the awkward moments too, the awkward silences, and I don't know, I just find it a little bit comedic with the types of facial expressions and things I can do. And okay, so that's page 16. It establishes that they're in the room, and Hana sighs. Vassa. Vassa says something, and Hana sighs. So because we're watching it from the courier's perspective, we're just gonna basically write it in Russian, so that way he doesn't know what is being said. But basically, he'll say, ask him about the, ask him if he's involved with, ask him, yeah. So Vassa says something in Hana's eyes. So he's just horrified of Vassa because he's just this big white man, towering over him. And we have reason to believe that you are involved, with American rebels, you're involved with distributing contraband. Is it contraband? Whenever it's secret messages, maybe. Okay, let's find out. Maybe I've been watching too many comedy anime and manga lately with the expressions. I just think it's funny. Okay, we have reason to believe that you're involved with rebellious. How did I describe that? I guess rebellious activity. Yeah. We have reason to believe that you're involved with the rebellion. How would they describe like America in a very, you're involved with American rebellion. We have reason to believe that you're involved with distributing secret messages. Another word for secret messages. I guess coded messages. Yeah. Distributing coded messages to the rebellion. To rebellion groups. Rebellious. Man, dialogue's hard. What would be it? We have reason to believe that you're involved with distributing coded messages to rebellion. Okay. I'm very half awake right now. Not to rebellion, but for rebellion. For rebellion traitors. For rebellious causes. There's another rebellion sounds. Apostasy, that's more like religious rebellion. It's an insurgency. Okay. Or we have reason to believe that you're involved in distributing You're involved with the distribution of coded messages for rebellion groups, for for groups that for rebellion groups, for Vassa said Vassa's involved. Rebellious uprising. I'm trying to imagine like Darth Vader investigating and interrogating because the word rebellion is always used. Rebel, scum, you know. But I don't know if they would say it in such a way for rebellion groups or anti-state. For groups that wish for the end of this, for American-backed rebellion groups. Whose? You ain't got nothing on me, coppers. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I like the thought that he's just horrified of Vassa. Yeah. Okay, I also think I just deliver mail, ma'am. And you sure do run fast for a guy who simply delivers mail. Gee, Vassa glares at him. Okay. So Vassa cracks his knuckles, just like just freaking you out. Like I'm not high in the. Would he just admit it? I don't think he would. You gotta interrogate it. You gotta get it out of him. Okay. Should we have him admit it? Would the courier immediately admit that he's a part of the rebels? Alright, let's try that. Interrogation scenes are fun, but they're hard. He was kind of caught in the act of running away. So maybe he would. But also, he was kind of caught in... Yeah, I agree. He wouldn't immediately say so. Yep. Alright, so we gotta figure out a way. In that case, we gotta figure out a way to get it out of it. So, I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not. Oh, we gotta use logic to get it out of him. Gotta use interrogation techniques. The courier stays silent. Hana puts the letter on the table. Maybe this is where I visually show Okay, so Hana puts the letter on the table and asks, "Have you ever seen this before?" No. Well, we have a description of you by the person who received it. And there isn't any other older aged who fits that. There isn't any other local courier beside yourself who fits that description. Okay, so how will the courier good point. What about the sender of the letter? Did the letter have any info that can trace who sent it? Yeah, actually, I think we included. Maybe it was just a warehouse or something. Like, I think that was a dead end. Yeah. Or maybe it was just a street in the middle of nowhere. So we can include that information. Let me do another poll. Oh, I gotta close this poll. Okay. New poll. All right. From what address? Yeah. So how do we? Okay, so an idea that I have is that maybe the courier accidentally says that the message has a code in it, without Hana bringing up the fact that it has a code in it. But she already kind of did, didn't she? Saying that, yeah, coded messages. Yeah. Masa glares at him, cracking his knuckles. The courier stays silent. Hana puts the letter on the table and asks, "Have you seen this letter before?" No. Well, we have a description of you by the person who received it, and there isn't any other local courier besides yourself who fits that description. Ah. Yeah. That's good. It's good. I think that's what I was gonna ask. Yeah. Good. Very good, Rihanna. Very good. All right. So, there aren't any local couriers besides yourself that fit that description. With the thing, bada boom. Like he mentions English, even though there's no way for him to know the contents of the letter unless he knew something about it. Yes, that is it. He mentions English, and he's like, "How did you know that it was in English? How did you know the code was in English?" Yes, and then he's just like, "Oh crap, I messed up. Oh step." Yeah, and then they threaten him with the death penalty. Or maybe Vassa just cocks his gun right there and points it at his head. That would be pretty crazy. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. I need to write it. Okay, so. Oh, that's funny. Oh shoot. What time is it? Okay, I have about an hour left. I should leave because I need to go to work at about like 8:20, which is more like 50 minutes. I need to brush my teeth. And then put on socks and then head to work. Okay. Yes, last chance. That's so freaking yes. Let's do it. Oh no, that's so intimidating. Okay. Have you ever seen this letter before? No. Well, we have a description of you by the person who received it, and there isn't any other local carrier besides yourself who fits that description. And maybe I delivered it, but I don't remember it. Yeah. The address is the return address is an empty lot. Okay, now how do we do this? I'll have her tell one of the police to check the return address in one of these. Hana is shown telling another police officer to check the return address. And there we go. The return address is an empty lot. How would you even get this to begin with? But also, in Japan they have public post offices. Like, not post offices. They have public things where you can just slide it into the mailbox. They have public mailboxes where you can just slide it in. Though you would still need to include a return address. The return address is an empty lot. The name on the letter is fake. How am I supposed to know anything about it? I'm going to leave out the American back part, so that way we can make it positive that they did not say anything about English. Wait, so how So they probably put it in, the rebels were probably put it in the in a public mail slot. What are those called? Mailbox. A public box. Yeah. Whoever the rebels were probably put it in the public mailbox. Anonymous mail addresses, maybe? Is that it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they verify it. Yeah. If a letter is from an address that isn't real, what do postmen do? Oh, they have a dead letter office. Okay. Look and see the name to another address. How do we get him? How do we get him to admit it? Because I want him to say that, like, whoever the rebels were probably put it in a public mailbox. I don't know any. I only deliver. Whoever the rebels were probably put it in a public mailbox. I don't know any. I don't verify the letters before there's... You don't? Do they not verify the mailing address? If the return address... Do post offices verify return addresses before sending? Japan. I'm pretty sure they have to verify it. Okay. Your coworkers need to verify of both the jobs are to verify both the sender and the receiver. Addresses before anything is sent out. It's illegal to do it otherwise, I would assume. Can you send mail anonymously? Not email, just mail. Mail, not email. Ah! It's not verified. Wow. Okay, so the US is kind of lazy when it comes to mail. But would the post office check? Would the Japanese post office check to see if the sender was verified before sending a letter? Let's try that. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. Okay, cool. Okay. So your coworkers' jobs are to verify both the sender and the receiver's addresses before anything is sent out. It's illegal to send mail otherwise. Then ask them. Maybe they... It's not my fault they gave me an English-coded message. Not my fault if they gave me an English-coded message. English-coded? I never said it was English-coded. Last chance. Oh, that's fun. You messed up, sir. Not my fault. It could have been. One of them could have made the English coded message and just handed it to me. The courier's face droops. I never said it was English coded. I don't know. In English, saying something is English coded sounds natural. I don't know if it would be in Japanese though. So someone said, 英語のメッセージ、英語のコード。Then Vassa whips out his gun and points it at his face. Okay, I'm gonna make this a new page. Page 18, yeah. Maybe around here. Hana puts the letter on the table and asks, Have you ever seen this letter before? No. Well, we have a description of you by the person who received it. There isn't any other local courier besides yourself who fits the description. I may have delivered it, but I don't remember it. The return address is an empty lot. The name on the letter is fake. Whoever the rebels were probably put it in a public mailbox. Your coworkers' jobs are to verify both the sender and the receiver's addresses before anything is sent out. It's illegal to send mail otherwise. Then ask them. One of them could have made the English coded message themselves and handed it to me to deliver. I'm innocent. English coded. I don't know. Does this sound a little on the nose? Should I make it less obvious? I don't know. Let's see. Poll. I don't know if it should reword it. Do you think that, does that sound natural to say something is English coded? Yeah. Probably. I would assume maybe there is a word to reword it. So something like that. So then ask them. They could have, let me see if I can do a Q&A. It'd probably be the same thing. Their coworkers' jobs are to verify both the sender and the receiver's addresses before anything is sent out. It is illegal for them to send mail otherwise. Then ask them. They could have coded the message themselves and told me to, they could have written the message themselves and told me to deliver it. Which is true. So how would Hana and Vassa be so confident that the courier was the one who wrote it? I think it was basically because he ran away the moment he was described, you know? Like he attempted to flee. Thinking, processing. See what time it is. Okay. It's almost 8, so about 8:30 is when I need to leave. Okay. Night. Yeah. Around 8:20. Okay. So I have about 20 minutes left. Let's try to figure this out before I go to work. All right, let's do this. Your coworker's job is to verify both the other sender and the receiver. Told me to deliver it. Maybe Vassa. I mean, that's a fair point, you know? How do I wrote myself in a corner again, Rihanna. Ah! What do I do? Okay, so the main question is, how do we get him to slip up? So we're not doing a poll. We're doing a Q&A. Right? Okay, so how does the courier slip up and accidentally reveal that he knew the code was in English? Alright. It's not my fault if that causes an English code to be delivered. I don't lean back. You've got nothing on me. And obviously, it was coded. It was a coded message. I don't even know English. Or maybe he reveals that it was sent to the sun. That's an interesting idea. But it would be on the letter because it was addressed to Hiyoshi. So maybe, but they could have wrote, no, because like, yeah, a part of the wording here is that Hana says, not Hana, the assistant says that it was addressed to Hiyoshi, yeah. So, and like you said, it was coded in English. I don't even know English. This guy's stupid. I think that could work. That sounds a bit more natural. But it is kind of the luck of the draw. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. I like the idea that he's just like, it's a side profile and he says, "You didn't?" And then the next panel has a gun on his forehead. And he's looking at it. Page 19. A shot of Vassa is seen pointing the gun at him. So you don't know anything about the kidnapping. Yo, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for coming in and chatting with me. I'll be here for another 20-ish minutes before I have to head to work. But yeah, how's it going? Right now we are writing the interrogation scene. Vassa, and we just got him to admit that the code was in English. So basically, he says, hi, hello. I just delivered mail, ma'am. He replies. So, okay, yeah. So we started on page 14. And it says, Hana is shown telling another police officer to check the return address. Vassa and Hana enter the police vehicle. So Vassa is the Russian, the USSR, and Hana is the Japanese policewoman. They enter a police vehicle. And this is involving a... Hi, welcome. So this story is involving a kidnapping case, and in the kid's room, they found a coded letter that said "message received" in English on it, and they're in Japan. So, all that being said, Hana, well, thank you, I appreciate you. Vassa and Hana enter the police vehicle, and she says, if English is involved, and Vassa completes her sentence, then the American rebels are also involved. The final shot of this page is the vehicle driving away from the politician's house, and the kid who was kidnapped is a politician's kid. This is set in an alternate history where Inejiro Asanuma, this politician, he was a politician of the Japan Socialist Party in 1960. And in this alternate history, he doesn't die. In real life, he got assassinated by a 17-year-old right-wing ultranationalist. And as a result of him not dying, communism or socialism spreads in Japan in this alternate history. In real life, because he died, the Socialist Party broke apart. He was like the glue that was holding it together. And so with his death, the Liberal Democratic Party took over. So they were able to influence Japanese society. But in my story, it's the Communists or the Socialist Party that influenced the Japanese public perception of things. So anyway, Vassa is a USSR detective, and he is there. Let's see. So Vassa, and this is just a temporary drawing. I want to remake him. He's a USSR detective, and he is going to try to prevent rebellions from happening in Japan. He has a pretty traumatized past because, and the reason why he's in Japan is because his reputation was tarnished due to the death of a young civilian. And Lucy, she's going to appear in this case, actually. She suddenly appears one day while Vassa was working on this case that we're writing. And he quickly finds out that he's the only one who can see her. Is she a ghost, the mental manifestation of his trauma? Either way, she helps him visualize things that would otherwise be impossible. So that's how she helps him out. And then there's another character who I haven't drawn yet named Hana. And Hana is a part of the Socialist Party's inclusion initiative. Because a lot of people don't know this, but communism and socialism are very pro-equality when it comes to women's rights. And so, you know, kind of a joke that Americans make about the USSR was that in communism everybody is equal, but also everybody is equally starving. So that's kind of the joke. But yes, so Hana is a poster child of the Japan Socialist Party's inclusion initiative. So she's a policewoman who has been assigned to work with Vassa. And she struggles with her own thought that she may not have been assigned, not through her own merit, but instead as a symbol of the regime. So we are going through page by page. This is going to be a 75-page chapter, which is the equivalent of roughly 3 chapters. And afterwards, after I have finished writing and drawing this chapter, I'm going to work on chapter 2 and have a fundraiser for chapter 2. And each chapter after that is going to be 25 pages. So that is the plan. And yeah. So yep, as of right now. Also, this is Copyleft. So this is a Copyleft manga. You are free to copy it. You're free to make derivatives of it and distribute it for free, so long as you credit me by including this, Copyleft Joshua Stevenson, and you also make your derivatives Copyleft as well. So that's the main idea behind this manga. It's going to be pretty fun, pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to getting more work done on it. So exciting. In the story so far, what we've written to is that there was a political leader's child. This is now set in the 80s. And so, yeah, so if you want to learn more about Copyleft, there's a Q&A section on the website. All you got to go to is in the description of the video. You go down here. It says Copyleft Joshua Stevenson Viable Source 2023. You just click on this, viablemanga.com. it should pop up, and on the top right it says copyright. So if you have any Q&As about question and answers about Copyleft, like what is Copyleft, it'll say it right here. Copyleft is a licensing agreement designed with freedom in mind. So if you want to know more information about specifics, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, that part of the website will let you know. Yeah. So yeah. So I spent the first 2 live streams mostly talking about Copyleft, and so now I'm just trying to work on the manga. So the story so far is that there was a political leader's son, and this is now in the 80s. So the assassination of Inejiro Asanuma happened in the 60s, and so if that doesn't happen, then socialism spreads, and now it's the 80s in my story. And so a Socialist Party leader's child is kidnapped, and that's where we first introduce Vassa. Through this kidnapping, we learn that it was there was a coded message inside of the young kid. He's not really like a little young kid. He's not like 6 or 7. He's like 13 or 14, and him and his dad don't really get along with their political beliefs. And so and this kid also has a degenerative disease, so he's kind of hidden from the world because it's seen as back then they wouldn't publicly show disabled people in communist or socialist regimes. And so he doesn't like that, and he doesn't like his dad for kind of hiding him. And so he actually wants to be a part of the rebellion, the American-backed rebellion to make Japan capitalist again, and so, or at least not communist anymore, and so, or not socialist anymore. And so, because he wants to join that, he sends a message through the coded message to tell the rebels that he wants to that he'll be at this place at this specific time, which was in a car during a debate, right? That his dad was having. And so that's what happens. And the Detective Vassa and Hana are currently interrogating a courier, a mailman, about the coded message that was sent. And he accidentally just admitted that he knew the coded message was in English, but the detectives never said that the code was in English. And so Vassa is putting a gun up against his head and saying "last chance," which is a very cold line that Rihanna came up with, which is a very cool line, and I'm gonna definitely use that. So yes, so far it's a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and end Q&A. Oop. There we go. And yeah, and so I'll be, because there's a slight delay, and I live in Japan right now, there's a slight delay between my talking and the messages that are coming through. So I'll occasionally put in polls to ask what would be the best option, this or this, right? To continue the story. And I've already done it a few times. But yes, it helps with the delay. There I am. Ah! Oh no! I accidentally yoinked that out. There we go. But yes. Now Vassa, a shot of Vassa, an intimidating shot of Vassa is shown with his hand on the last chance. All right. Now, from there, what should we do? Should we immediately Should we immediately go from there to... Alright, so I have about 8 minutes before I need to head out. So I'm gonna ask a real quick question. Where should we go from here? Should we go from... Should we go from... Should we go from here? Go directly from here to then... Okay, yeah. Where should we go from here, I guess? To the address where he finds Lucy. Man, what's up with these, like... To the rebel base, I guess. To the rebel base. Hideout. The rebel hideout. Or, should we linger a bit? Because we kind of already jumped around a bit from the post office to the police station. Or we could just go straight to the rebel hideout. It could just be jump, jump, jump. That's cool too. So, alright. Okay, so we're on page 19 out of 75. So we're making a pretty quick pace right now. Let's see. So which is not too bad because in the synopsis we're only at the... We just finished the third bullet point basically. And so, yeah. But we did diverge from the original synopsis quite a bit. And that's kind of what happens with writing sometimes. But yeah, not too bad. Alright, so I guess it depends on what he tells them, but since it leads to them going somewhere else anyways, they could go there and have the filling in what he said after. Yeah, okay. So we can like have like a small little flashback to where he basically gave them the address, yeah. Alright, let's go. Also, there's another character. There's the main guy, not the main guy. There's the superior of Vassa, who assigned him to be in Japan. Maybe he could be behind the one-way mirror, or the one-way mirror. Maybe not. I don't know. I think that would be kind of weird to just include him there. I'm gonna go with no for now. Let's go to the place, and we're on page 20, and yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. This is hard, but yep. Cool. got quite a few things going on. Let's an establishing shot of the house is shown. And Hana and Vassa walk out of a car. We could give dialogue like that guy squealed, like that guy didn't. That guy was horrible at keeping secrets, huh? Or he said that it was at this address. Or is this the right address? Yeah, he said it was here. Yeah. This is where he said all of the mail actually comes from. Well, if they know this, this should be like a raid, yeah? So it wouldn't just be those two. They wouldn't want to get rid of their element of surprise. So maybe instead of it just being an establishing shot of the rebel hideouts, they, we show the interrogation room door being closed. No, we show an establishing shot of the police of many cars. Of many cars going to a residential address. Going to a house in the suburbs. Does his superior know about the mistake Vassa made that caused him guilt? If you did want to include him, you could show him saying some side comment from behind the two-way mirror alluding to what happened. Yeah, so his superior does know about it. That's why he assigned him to Japan, to basically get the, and there's like public backlash in the USSR. And so, yes. And so he sent him to Japan specifically to kind of wait until the storm blows over. Yeah. Because he is still a good detective. He just isn't, you know, he isn't very popular right now. So, yep. Like, it was a quick transition from what happened, but he seems to be handling the transfer so far. Well, so far, yeah. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. For me, it is currently 8:20. Which is time I need to go to work. So, yes, I appreciate you, Rihanna, and also Atharva for hopping in. Rihanna, thank you so much for the help. You gave a lot of input, and I really appreciate that. The next time I'll stream should be, so I'll probably be doing it your Tuesday. So Tuesday, same time. Which will be, yes, my Wednesday. So in 2 days. Yep. All right. So everybody, thank you for stopping by and helping me out with my story and my project. And I'll see you guys in 2 days. Yeah. Probably the first viable stream I stayed till the end. Yeah. So thank you. I think I timed it better because it started at 3 p.m. y'all's time, or Central Time at least, so it might be more like, depending on what time zone you're in. But Central Time, it started at 3 p.m. And for me, that was 6 a.m. So it's pretty early for me. But yeah, it gave you guys a lot of time. It was a lot shorter. It was 2.5 hours rather than just being, however long I have for my break or whatever, my day off. So yeah, thanks for sticking around for the stream. And yeah, sorry Atharva for hopping out as soon as you hopped in, after like 30 minutes or so. But yeah, I need to go to work as an English teacher. So, all right, I'll see you guys in a couple of days, to continue writing the story from there. We can probably, let me write a note real quick saying, the next page, I'm going to say, will we include Vassa's superior, or go straight to the, I accidentally pushed the button, or go straight to the rebels' hideout. All right. So that's what our next thing is. If you want to see this that's my alarm. If you want to see this document, you can still go to the bottom here, document files for this manga. Just click on this. It'll take you to a Google Drive and go to storywriting/drafts, and then this is the page that I work on. Yep. So you can just copy and make your own version of it if you want, or you can do pretty much anything with it. Very nice, very fun, kind of the spirit of Copyleft. And yeah. So with all of that, I want to thank you once again for hopping in my early morning stream in Japan and mid-afternoon stream in America. And I guess I don't know Indian time zones, but whatever that is for you as well. Atharva. Yeah. So thanks again for hopping in, and thanks again, Rihanna, for all of the help. It was I really appreciate it.